friends, I'm Liz.
I'm Robby, welcome back to our channel Bookworm Couple. Today we are going to be talking about the 6th episode of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians TV series on Disney+. We Bring a Zebra to Vegas, I believe is the title of the episode.
Good for remembering the number of the episode, because I don't remember how many episodes we have in.
Yes, I believe we have 2 more after this. I know, we're rapidly approaching the ending. I will say this was pretty far and away my least favorite episode.
I would agree with you.
I just didn't...
I don't know, maybe I liked it a little bit better than the St. Louis Arch one.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. They made a lot of changes, and I didn't really understand the point of some of them.
Which I wonder if maybe we just won't until we move on with
Very
the series.
possible. It was also, I think, the shortest, or one of the shortest
episodes.
It was
short,
really
yeah.
short. It was 33 minutes and something seconds, but it was very, very short. I wish it had been longer. It feels like some of the choices they made because they needed it to be short. I'm not really sure. I don't know. There were a few bits about it that I liked, but for the most part I was left pretty disappointed.
Yeah, it was, I think, because this was the episode that really strayed very far from the text. It was a little bit out of place, and also it strayed in a way that was more serious. So I think it made it feel a little bit slower, a little bit denser.
Sure.
And like you said, there were quite a few changes that were made that didn't pay off right away. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that that is part of the plan for later on, but who knows? I think it's hard to kind of judge the choices that they made just yet, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. I guess we can get into some specifics now. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, go ahead and watch it before you watch the rest of this video, because we're going to talk about some of the specifics about it and don't want to spoil anything for you. So, in 3, 2, 1, I'm
going to say what I liked about it.
Okay.
I liked that we got Hermes.
I liked that we got Hermes too.
That was an unexpected thing. I thought Lin-Manuel was great.
I thought Lin-Manuel was good. I had a problem with that conversation, though, because, one, it seems to serve a similar purpose to one that Hermes has with Percy in the second book. And also reveals a lot of information that is, like, not revealed until the final book in the series. That is, like, a big twist that I'm not going to talk about now in the very small case that you have already forgotten. Because it's supposed to be a big reveal, and Hermes just, like, talks about it. And, yeah, it felt weird, and I didn't know why they were rushing that.
Yeah, I think it kept in step with how serious they've been with this series.
Yeah.
Because the books are definitely not. I mean, they deal with serious things, and especially, but not really as the overall vibe of it is not serious until Percy starts to get older. And so that's kind of been the theme that they've had with this, is it's definitely much more serious, much more like how would a real human or God in a human world deal with things.
Yeah. And
so I understand it from that perspective. But yeah, there were a lot of things that I thought were interesting, like changing the Lotus Casino entirely.
I didn't. They've made
it also. My struggle with it was that it wasn't clear what the Lotus Casino is now. Like they made it how it like slows time, but not really always, and it's not always the same.
Well, I mean, the thing that really bothered me about it was, and they've done this a few times before, where like they showed up at Medusa's place and they were like, "It's Medusa."
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. And I was like, okay, interesting. They did that this time, and I was like, okay. Like, so they know what it is going in, and then they still get kind of tricked by it because it's being pumped in through the air, and it's just, I don't know. I was like, you can let them discover it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt...
Because they've definitely established them as smart kids.
Yeah.
Who can puzzle out a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have been able to. And that's definitely a part of those reveals of the gods, where they don't know them going in the books. And yeah, it's almost like they give them that intelligence in other spaces, but not in the knowledge of... I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but it's interesting of like where that intelligence comes to play.
Yeah, just wasn't executed. It's a change. It's one of the first changes that I like fully was just like, I would have rather that you just stuck with what was in the book. I just didn't get it, and I thought it led to a much less intriguing episode. I don't know what the deal with, Grover's new friend Augustus.
Yeah.
I think it was. I thought that was just kind of odd.
Well, it almost seemed to me, I wonder if they were just really working out the point that was made at the end. That was, Annabelle talks about, or Grover says, like, I don't understand why I forgot so much more than the two of you did.
Yes.
And Annabelle's like, it's because you were alone.
Uh-huh.
And so then I kind of read it like, oh, were we doing all of this to make this point that you're so much stronger with your friends or with the team? If that was the case, it didn't pay off well for me. But I understand that idea.
One point towards it is that it does remind us and reminds the viewer and puts the viewer in mind of Grover's quest for Pan and trying to get his searcher license and stuff like that. And I think it's good that they're, reminding us about that and talking to us about that. But I don't know. It kind of fell flat for me. I think that the best part of the episode was them trying to drive the car. I thought it was really, really fun. I thought that was great. I really liked that part. But
I do think that's a lot of the silliness that we're missing in the series. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the series, and I've said this in our other talks about the books of how much I enjoy how serious they are getting. Because I think as a teenager, I thought I was very serious, and they're having very adult, mature conversations. And I like that. I like giving these young kids that power, but there is also so much silliness in Percy Jackson.
Yes, there really is.
And I feel like we've been missing a good chunk of that. So the driving the car scene was very silly, which was great. Really, really great.
I also thought something weird, the transitions and the...
There was a lot of cuts to black.
A lot of cuts to black.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand why, and I didn't like it. It kind of like took me out of the scene continually. I'm assuming it was a choice for a reason. Mm. One I'm maybe not intelligent enough to have picked up, but it just, it just happened a lot.
It did.
And I will also say, like, they get to the West Coast immediately with the car. I thought that was kind of well done.
Yeah.
That they drive out onto the road and they're about to get hit and they're suddenly exactly where they need to be, which I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. I officially think the naiads don't look good.
Yeah,
I was just like...
and for everything else, but I do think this is the thing that we haven't been able to really capture with CGI underwater stuff.
It's tough.
I don't think anybody has done it perfectly.
Well, I don't know
Avatar
Way of the Water is really good.
I haven't seen that yet. But there's so many things, like I'm thinking of Aquaman and so many other things where I'm like, I'm like, good, yeah. It's so hard to do, and I think that was part of it with the naiads that I was like, eh. They made her glow a lot, which to me made me look past a lot of the other stuff. I was like, ooh, she's shiny.
She's shiny. Yeah.
I do think it's interesting the choice that they've made with Percy underwater, of him still looking like he's underwater.
Instead of just being around.
Instead of just being underwater, untouched by the water, essentially.
Yeah, I honestly think that might have been a better choice.
I agree,
it would have looked more unnatural, though.
It would have looked more unnatural, and I don't know how you would have done it, and I'm sure they experimented in so many ways and just didn't find it, and that's why they made the choice that they did. And I do still think even just him speaking underwater is pretty impressive, the way that they've done that. Uh-huh. But I was picturing, and maybe this is just the Pisces in me always wishing that I could, like, live under the water.
Sure.
I was really excited to see a person just existing underwater as if they were walking on land. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, it wasn't, overall, this wasn't my favorite. There's only a few moments that I truly enjoyed, and the rest I was kind of just like...
I thought it was interesting that they changed the fact that the deadline passed, and the Naiad is the one who tells him that.
I don't understand why they did that. I'm assuming there was going to be like a big reason, because that seems like a pretty significant change from the book.
Or it was to give Percy that monologue that he had, where he's like, I don't care, I have to do something that's right, and there's a bigger evil here, and I'm still gonna do it.
Maybe.
And if that is the case, that's a little bit of a bummer, because I don't think that was a very big payoff for making that big of a change, but that could have been their reasoning.
I don't know. To me, unless they're like planning to show us a small part of like a god war, I don't really understand the point in making that change, which would be super cool.
Yeah, she even said like Poseidon is rallying his forces.
Yeah, which I'm like, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reserve judgment on that specific one because it literally ended the episode.
Yeah, truly, we don't know.
We have no idea what's going to happen moving forward, but I thought that was a very jarring change.
Yeah,
but that
had me questioning of like,
It had me questioning a lot, but it didn't
right?
bother me as much as the changes in the casino. I just thought the changes in the casino, none of them really like improved the scene.
Yeah, it just felt more
Just
adult,
kind of
which
dull.
the whole point of the Lotus is it's all kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at least from what I remember, it's all kids.
And that is very much of what the Percy Jackson world is, and why I like reading it as an adult, because I'm thinking of my inner child, my inner teen, who would have loved the idea that it is just these teens in a world of teens figuring things out.
I do enjoy that there's a little Easter egg in there. Apparently, I actually missed it, but apparently if you listen when they're entering the casino, you can hear a young boy yell the name Bianca. And for those of you who have read the books, you will know what that is a reference to.
Cute.
So that's nice, but I missed it personally. But yeah, I don't know. I'm bummed, to be completely honest. This is kind of a downer where we're getting so close to the end, and I don't want to have any episodes that are kind of clunkers. Right,
yeah, but I'm also holding out hope.
Yeah.
I've also watched all of Doctor Who, so there's a lot of clunkers in there, and
That's
I
fair
still
enough.
love that series
That's fair
so
enough.
much. And I even love the clunkers, especially when you go back and watch it and you're like, oh yeah, how weird.
That's a good point.
I also tend to go into things like assuming I'm gonna like it, so.
Yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
I don't always, it's not all rose-colored glasses. You can still look at things critically and go in hoping you're gonna like them and not. And
Well,
that's
hopefully
just,
the
that's
next
just been it.
episode kind of
We'll
gets
see.
back on track. We'll see.
I will say, it actually makes me almost more curious for the next episodes, because I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what's happening?
What are your plans?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Those are our thoughts on
Those
this
are our
episode.
opinions.
Hopefully, we'll feel better about the next one. If you want to watch our videos about us talking about the Percy Jackson books, we are currently doing a read through of that as well. You can find the playlist
Almost done.
up there. We are almost done. And do you agree with us on this episode? Do you disagree?
you
Convince us that this episode is actually good in the comments down
Let's
below.
chat.
Change my mind
I'm
somehow.
all about it.
Thank you all so much for watching, and
We'll see you on our next adventure.